Hey everyone, Dr. Jones here with another weekly video message, and this one I want to talk about a topic that's really important, really often addressed when we're talking about how to improve behaviors and how to improve the world around us, and that's modeling. The idea of not talking about something, but how we actually do something. And it really hit home with me when I was thinking about the idea that we are in part the product of our parents. Now, some of you may not be pleased to hear that, some of you may be ecstatic to hear that, but it has to do with the old adage, actions speak louder than words. And when you think about that, you think about the behaviors that we exhibit for our kids and our students. Think of the cell phone idea. You know, we talk about how much time is too much time for screen time. We talk about how we just wish kids would put the cell phones down and interact with people. How often do we, as adults, and what we're modeling with the cell phone show that? How often do we put the cell phone down? How often are we interrupted by the cell phone? How often do we get lost in the cell phone? Think about attitude. What kind of attitude do we display about life, no matter what we tell our students? You know, we talk about growth mindset and fixed mindset and struggling through failure and failing forward and continuing to go. How often do we actually model that for our students? How do we model respect? Think about stress. We tell students not to get stressed about certain things and tell them that, they shouldn't be anxious about this or anxious about that. Do we display anxiety or stress and therefore give them a mixed message and cause them more stress in the end? I mean, no matter what we're the product of, we're influenced by a lot of things. And ultimately, that's what makes us up as a whole. So we always have the opportunity to change who we are, what we are, and how we act. But it's hard. It's hard because of so many influences, and it's hard because often we don't recognize that our actions do not match what we're saying. And so let's focus on doing just that. Let's focus on changing ourselves for the better, and that for others to see, so that when we're talking about things and our actions followed up, it's a much more powerful message. And ultimately, it's better for everybody involved. Because think about it. What I said before, us being partially a product of our parents, remember that in the end, our own students are the products of us. So what do we want for them? And how are we going to show them that instead of just tell them that? Because that's what they're going to remember, that's what they're going to exhibit, and that's how they're going to behave. I thank you for taking the time to listen. I always appreciate it, and I never take you for granted. So remember, be purposeful, act with integrity, and always continue to build your character. You have yourself a great weekend.